Hi, this is Yolanda Van Veen, and in this segment we're going to talk about how to plant freesias. They're a beautiful flower from South Africa that has an intoxicating fragrance that you'll never forget. So freesias like humidity and they want a really warm climate, and they don't want to freeze at all because you'll lose them. So you can dig them up and bring them out inside over the winter and start them every year, but they're really easy to plant. So you can buy them by bulb or by seed, and it's really easy to plant them. And you'll find that they multiply real quickly. They're not a big bulb, and they make babies, and sometimes it takes them a couple years to really bloom well if you live in a warmer climate. And you have to bring them inside if you live even in the Northwest or a colder climate, because they really don't want to freeze at all. But my rule of thumb when you plant any flower bulbs is plant at least 3 together or more. They like to be in groups. You don't invite your friends over and put them in timeout one in a corner. You always want to plant at least 3 or more bulbs. And so when you're planting them, you can start it from bulb. These have already started. But you want to make sure that they are about 3 inches deep from the bulb to the top, because you don't want to have them fall over either. And I like to crowd them and to have my base as a triangle and kind of spread them out a little bit, because they will multiply too. And here in the Northwest, I just let them bloom in the summer, then turn around and put them in the greenhouse for the winter, and they just come back every year real well and multiply. But these were small bulbs, so it's probably going to take a couple years to really get blooming. And the thing about bulbs, too, is even if you transplant them when they're starting to grow, it's breaking the rules, but we're in the Wild West, and I love breaking the rules. And I think you can plant plants anytime you get a chance, because they will bloom where they're planted. So once you plant them, make sure they get lots of heat and lots of sun. But yet if it's 107 degrees out, they might sunburn. So you got to keep them really wet, but you want them to have good drainage. So a lot of times just by putting some gravel on the bottom with a container and putting them on top of gravel and having it wet down there, they're not sitting in the water, they're still getting moisture. Because what I've learned is freesias need a lot of humidity. And sometimes if you live in a warmer climate where there's little humidity, they won't do that well. They just kind of turn brown. So they need a lot of water when they're growing, and they want to be completely dry when they're not growing. So as long as you can recreate South Africa for them, they will do wonderful in your yard.